Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. On this second day of June 2022, political drumbeats are getting louder as political formations take shape ahead of the August polls, which are about 67 days ahead. Just a reminder that we are also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Let's kick off. That is at Hope TV Kenya. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has officially rejoined the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party and dropped his presidential bid in the August 9th general election in favor of Raila Odinga. Speaking at the SKM Command Center in Karen, Kalonzo said he made the decision of accepting the nomination as the chief minister in the Azimio government should it clinch power after what he termed as wide consultations with party leadership, clergy and professionals. Kalonzo was flanked by several Wiper leaders and KANU chairman Gideon Moi, who is said to be the one who spearheaded the intense negotiations that have seen Kalonzo rejoin Azimio. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has also congratulated NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua over her appointment as Raila Odinga's running mate.
After deep introspection, I have today deferred my dream to run for the President of the Republic of Kenya in the forthcoming general election.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has today officially announced his return to the Azimio faction after he opted out of the coalition on the 16th of May, citing betrayal by Raila Odinga, who named NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua as his running mate. Speaking at the SKM Command Center in Karen, Kalonzo indicated that he arrived at the decision following extensive consultations with his party officials, and he has accepted the nomination by Odinga as the chief minister in Odinga's government should he win the elections in August.
I've decided to accept with humility and appreciation my nomination as the chief minister in the Azimio One Kenya coalition. Of course, when, and not, the question is not if we form the government. It is when we form the next government.
Kalonzo has congratulated Martha Karua of her appointment as Odinga's running mate and assured her of his unequivocal support.
I would also wish to congratulate my learned sister, the Honorable Martha Wangari Karua, Senior Counsel, on her nomination as the Deputy President nominee of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. And I want to assure Mother of my full and unequivocal support and that ticket of Raila Odinga, Martha Karua.
Giving way does not make you a scoundrel. Giving way does not make you a flip-flopper. Giving way does not make you an undecided person. Giving way does not even make you a watermelon. Giving way, in fact, gives way to you becoming a great man tomorrow.
Where I'll be, my brother Andrew will also be.
Kalonzo says he's now ready to hit the campaign trail together with his Wiper Party elected leaders. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that report. Now, Deputy President William Ruto has held a consultative meeting with European Union ambassadors at his current residence in Nairobi, where he lamented that close to 1 million registered voters from his stronghold areas have been removed from the IEBC voters register. Claims IEBC has dispelled. Ruto, who is seeking to succeed his boss President Uhuru Kenyatta in the August 9th general elections, has vowed to write to the IEBC in regards to the matter, saying there was an attempt to obliterate names from the IEBC register. This even as cracks have emerged in Ruto's Kenya Kwanza Alliance camp in Nakuru after Bahati Member of Parliament Kimani Ngunjiri endorsed Governor Lee Kinyanjui of the rival Azimio camp to win the seat over Susan Kihika. Dickens Luvanda now reports.
Deputy President William Ruto, the UDA August 9th presidential aspirant, now claims about 1 million registered voters in his strongholds have been removed from the IEBC register.
About 1 million names have somehow disappeared from the register is in the public domain, and I think even the IEBC have said they are doing some remedial steps.
Ruto met envoys from the European Union in Kenya at his current residence in Nairobi, where he said there was an attempt to wipe out names of voters in his stronghold from the IEBC list of registered voters, saying those behind such schemes will not succeed.
Those kind of attempts are dangerous.
They are giving the other side 20 minutes of airtime, and they give our side about 4 minutes, and if you're very lucky, 5 minutes on that day. We would call upon the international community to have a serious conversation with the media houses.
In a quick rejoinder at the Bomas of Kenya, where he led day 3 of the presidential aspirants verification exercise, Wafula Chebukati, the IEBC chairman, distanced IEBC from Ruto's claims, saying no names are missing in the IEBC voter register and that the commission will account for every Kenyan who registered as a voter.
As a commission, we shall account for each and every Kenyan who is registered or who has registered to vote. And no data has been lost and no data will be lost. So those spreading rumors that register data has been lost, please be informed that all the data is intact. There's been no breach.
According to Chebukati, the names Ruto claims are missing are those voters who applied for transfers. Chebukati said the commission will certify the final register and gazette it by June 9th, after which the voter register will be available for all electorates to check their details until 7 days to the August 9th poll.
We have a register of 22.5 million plus, which is undergoing audit. And the audit report will be made public on or before the register is gazetted on the 9th of June this month.
The DP, flanked by his allies Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, Alfred Mutua, Anne Waiguru and Aden Duale, among others, said he believes IEBC will deliver a credible election and that he was ready to work with the Wafula Chebukati-led commission to ensure a free, fair and credible poll.
We have confidence in the IEBC having the capacity to deliver this election if they are not interfered with.
Ruto's Kenya Kwanza alliance also lamented to the EU ambassadors that civil servants are often on the campaign trail campaigning for their rivals, a move that may likely subdue the will of the people. The envoys who act as neutral observers in the Kenyan elections are expected to meet Ruto's opponent Raila Odinga and also the IEBC as the election date fast approaches.
The EU will be here as a neutral observer and supporter of this democratic process because, as I said, for us, Kenya is a democratic and stable country and needs to remain so.
Dickens Rwanda, Hope TV News.
Much appreciated, Dickens, for that report. Well, still in some politics, the High Court has given permission to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, to freeze 18 prime properties and 7 motor vehicles belonging to former Governor Ferdinand Waitito, his family members and companies associated with him. The court gave the orders pending the hearing and determination of 1.9 billion shillings unexplained wealth case against the governor. The orders issued by Anti-Corruption Court Judge Esther Maina restrained Waitito, his wife and their companies from selling, transferring or in any other way interfering with the properties and vehicles until the case is concluded. The orders came after EACC filed a suit in the High Court to recover almost 2 billion Kenya shillings in unexplained assets allegedly acquired through corruption from the former governor. The commission said the suit is part of ongoing recovery of public funds from several governors suspected to have accumulated illicit wealth. In a statement recently, EACC CEO Twali Mbarak said EACC seeks to recover public funds from a significant number of sitting and former governors suspected to have accumulated unexplained wealth during their tenure. Moving on, the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection has launched the National Employers Skill and Occupational Survey team and flagged off vehicles to be used during the exercise that will be undertaken in 45 days. Addressing the press, Labour CS Simon Chelugui said that although the country continues to grapple with high unemployment, with a majority of those in employment in the informal sector, the survey will help in coming up with strategies that can be used to increase opportunities for decent work in the country. As Grace Wangoi now tells us, the survey will help create a globally competitive workforce.
Although some of the effects of COVID-19 on the economy have since been neutralized, the issue of unemployment, which existed before the COVID-19 pandemic, is yet to be solved. Every year, 1 million new job seekers enter the labor market, but unfortunately, only 800,000 are absorbed, albeit the majority land in the informal sector. According to Cabinet Secretary for Labour and Social Protection, Simon Chelugui, his ministry is working on strategies to encourage the growth of the formal sector in order to promote decent work in the country.
Last year, we recognized and realized that those who are in informal jobs were extremely exposed. They were vulnerable. They were affected by COVID. And as a country, as a middle-income country, as we aspire to grow our country to beyond middle income level, we also need to speak to the issues of employment, the kind of jobs, the kind of employment that we have, whether it serves and sustains livelihood in a quality way.
The Education Ministry has often come under fire for its various curricula, which have been criticized for not matching existing occupations and skills which are in demand in the labor market. Speaking on this matter during the launch of the National Employer Skills and Occupational Survey team at the ministry's headquarters in Nairobi, Chelugui noted that the survey will help in establishing existing occupations and skills which are in demand, adding that findings from the survey should be disseminated for use by curriculum developers.
This information over time will help us to focus the skills and occupations likely to be in high demand. With this survey now, after their report, we'll be able to share with our colleges, universities, the Ministry of Education, in preparation of the next skills, reorganizing our curriculum to fit the demands of our market.
The nationwide survey, which is expected to be conducted within 45 days, will also help in creating a globally competitive workforce by identifying, collecting and analyzing key labor market data, which is then used to generate reports useful for policy making by stakeholders in the economy.
We want our employees to be of the same level with either the middle income or the high income countries. And government has begun. Government in itself is looking at paying its own workers, public servants, commensurate with what others are paying. In any case, Kenya could be even paying more than what the other countries are paying. And this is all about, we hope that this will trigger the same response from the private sector.
Grace Wangoi for Hope TV Newswatch.
Much appreciated, Grace, for that report. To some more politics, Deputy President William Ruto has rubbished reports that allege the Azimio coalition is leading in popularity by 60% in the country. Ruto instead said that the opposite is true, as he added that Kenya Kwanza is leading their opponents by 8%. Speaking during the Makueni Economic Forum in Wote, Makueni County, the DP said the fight against corruption has been weaponized to fight political opponents while protecting allies, adding that his government will fight corruption. Ruto was accompanied by his Kenya Kwanza counterparts who drummed up support for him.
Umesikia wengine ambao ni wafanyikazi wetu. Mimi na Uhuru Kenyatta ndio tulienda tukatafuta serikali na tukakuja tukawaajiri watu hapo, wafanyikazi wa serikali. Sasa hawa wafanyikazi wetu wa serikali wameshikwa na kiburi na madharau mingi. mpaka hata wanasema mambo ya uongo. Ati mtu anaenda kwa TV anasema ati kuna intelligence report inayosema ati Azimio sijui iko na kiwango gani. Mimi ndio naibu wa rais wa Kenya. Intelligence report baada ya rais kupatiwa, mimi ndio napatiwa, kabla ya hawa watu wengine wanafanya kazi hapo chini. I want to tell the people of Kenya to treat with contempt the propaganda being propagated by some of our staff, that there is any intelligence report that says our competitors are ahead of us. In fact, the intelligence report that our NSIS have released is that Kenya Kwanza is ahead by 8 percentage points against our competitors. And I want to challenge the public officials. If they are serious about what they are saying, let them publish the report they are talking about that is coming from NSIS.
On that note, let's take our first break on News Watch tonight. Don't go too far. We'll be back shortly.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. President Uhuru Kenyatta has held talks with Swedish Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson, focused on mitigating the challenges of climate change, especially in developing countries. At a meeting held on the margins of the Stockholm +50 in the Swedish capital, President Kenyatta and Prime Minister Andersson agreed on the need for concerted efforts to address the triple planetary crisis of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. President Kenyatta pointed out that developing countries are most affected by the negative effects of climate change, citing the example of Kenya, which has experienced drought for 4 consecutive years. Later, President Kenyatta separately met Botswana President Mokgweetsi Masisi and the President of the 76th session of the UN General Assembly, Abdullah Shahid.
I take this opportunity to remind us all that Africa, despite its relatively limited global emission footprint, is suffering disproportionately from the impact of climate change. We are currently facing a multiple climate-related humanitarian crisis in the Sahel region, the Horn of Africa, and in parts of Southern Africa as well, as a result of flooding, drought, rising sea levels. And while these crises require urgent and collective action, it is even more important to take action to forestall more such crises. We have, I believe, an exceptional opportunity to turn climate and environmental commitments into action if we work together as a community of nations. Heightened ambition in financing and implementation should be at the core of these actions.
Now, more than 17 Kiandutu slum learners in Thika are yet to report to Form 1. Most of the learners are still stranded at their homes due to lack of school uniform and fees, despite the government's directive that all 2021 KCPE candidates report to Form 1. According to residents and well-wishers, the learners are still at home almost a month after the Form 1 reporting date, owing to financial challenges in their families. Dolly Murigi has more.
Financial challenge has been a constraint to most of the learners in the country since Form 1s reported last month in their respective secondary schools. Quite a number of learners are still stuck at home due to lack of school fees and are now turning back to the aid of well-wishers. And despite the government directive that all 2021 KCP candidates report to Form 1, more than 17 students from Thika, Kiandutu slum are still stranded at their homes due to lack of school uniform and fees. Margaret Wanjiru, Mirinjeri and Francis Mungai are among the lucky parents whose children got school uniform thanks to help from well-wishers to enable them to report to school. They still cannot afford other personal effects and necessities which the school demand before admission, but they hope that they will be cleared. Wanjiru, a fruit dealer, has 5 other children who have since dropped out of school due to financial challenges. Her daughter was placed in a school in Thika.
Niko na watoto watano na hakuna mtoto amesoma. Hata huyu nilikuwa nimelemewa kabisa, lakini nilipata msaidizi anaitwa Maina na ndiye alininunulia mtoto uniform, na hakuna kitu kingine nimenunua, hata fees sijalipa.
Jerry's son has been placed in a secondary school in Kenol, Murang'a County and had to maneuver to get admission at a school in the slum.
Lakini hata hii shule yenye iko karibu sina hiyo pesa ya kumpeleka, kwa hivyo nilikuwa naomba msaada nipate kumpeleka shule juu niko na wengine pia wako secondary na mimi tu wananitegemea.
To Mungai, affording school fees, rent, food and money to buy other requirements is a dream which may keep his child home forever if help is not availed.
Sina pesa ya kununua paka uniform. Sasa nataka nipewe usaidizi ndio mtoto aweze kuenda shule.
Andrew Maina, a well-wisher, speaks of a program that checks out learners from slums to those still at home, but it can only get to a handful.
Tumesaidia watoto 7 kujoin Form 1 na uniform, fees, vitu kama hivyo. Hizi pesa tunatoa kwa marafiki zetu, kwa familia zetu, na ndizo zimewezesha hawa kujoin Form 1.
He has called on the government to help learners in slums and other financially unstable families to join secondary schools. Thika West Deputy County Commissioner Mbogu Mathiora, however, said they have scaled up the mopping exercise to ensure all learners report to school. Dolly Mirigi for Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Moving on, the government is targeting over 800,000 KCSE school leavers for COVID-19 vaccination as part of its strategy to attain 50% of the teenage population protected against the pandemic. Ministry of Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache has urged parents and guardians to encourage teenagers to get vaccinated as a way to protect the more vulnerable senior citizens against COVID-19. She made the appeal when she presided over the official launch of the accelerated COVID-19 vaccination campaign in Kibra, Nairobi County. The government, she said, targets to vaccinate 100% adult population and 50% of the teenage population. Security officers, religious leaders and traders in Naivasha have downplayed reports by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, flagging the town as a hotspot. The leaders questioned the parameters used by the commission to identify the larger Nakuru County as a hotspot ahead of the upcoming general election. This came as a joint campaign was launched to make sure that no flower farm worker fled from the town, as has been the norm every election year. According to Naivasha Deputy County Commissioner Mutua Kisilu, The town was calm 2 months before the general elections and no threats have been identified. Mutua said that they have formed several peace committees involving all stakeholders, adding that security officers were keenly monitoring the ongoing campaigns.
Sisi kama wanabodaboda tumeweza kukaa chini na tukawa tumejadili na tukaamua aspirants woyote ambaye anatua reflector hizo tumeweza kuzikataa kwa sababu hizo ndio za kwanza ambazo zinaeneza chuki kati yetu sisi.
Hakuna picha yoyote ya aspirant wowote, either awe ni governor, either awe ni MCA, mbunge ama senate wowote ambaye tutaweka katika magari zetu hapa katika Naivasha.
Kwa hivyo jambo la kwanza ni kuhubiri amani na kuweza pia kuwaunganisha hao ma-aspirant, iwe ni ma-MPs wenye wanapigania ama ma-MCA, tukutane na wao tuwazungumzie pia wahubiri mambo ya amani.
Kulingana na vipimo vyetu ambavyo tumepima, hata na wananchi tukizungumza nao, hakuna pahali popote ambapo tunaona kama pana hatari. Lakini kwa sababu lazima ujihadhari kabla ya hatari, sisi kama serikali tumejipanga kutayarisha officers wetu, tuna officers wengi. Kwa hivyo ni hali tu ya kujiandaa kwa sababu ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumepreempt kama kutakuwa na chochote, lakini hatuna sense yoyote ama hali warning yoyote ya kuonyesha kwamba Naivasha kunaweza kuwa na hatari.
Leaders from Embu have lauded President Uhuru Kenyatta for creating another sub-county in Embu. Speaking during Madaraka Day celebrations in Umau grounds in Mbeere South, the leaders said the administrative unit will bring services closer to the locals. Led by former Mbeere South Member of Parliament Reverend Mutava Musimi, they said residents have been moving far distances within Mbeere South sub-county to seek government services. The sub-county, which was gazetted by the government, will be known as Mwea sub-county and will cover 2 wards, that is Makema and Mwea.
Kwa hivyo imeonekana tufanye jitihada ya kukata wilaya hii ya Mbeere South, na ninashukuru serikali kwa sababu ni maombi tu ilitumwa huko na ikakubalika, na hiyo itafanya kwa wale wanahusika na mambo ya siasa, tutapigania hata ikiwezekana tukishirikiana na wao, ili ikiwezekana tupewe eneo ingine ya ubunge, tupate CDF mara ngapi? Mara 2, sini kuboresha maisha na maendeleo.
Almost half of the landmass in Mbeere South. So it was absolutely crucial to make services acceptable to people, because traveling, especially for leaders, from one corner to another, and also for government services to be accessible, was proving extremely difficult.
Tunafaa kusema asante sana, maana watu wa Karuko wakitoka Karuko kuja kupata National Government Services Kiritiri wanachukua gari 3, in addition kwa boda na mguu, maana hatuna barabara. Ukiangalia watu wa Kiangeni wakikuja huku again wanatumia kama more than 2,000 shillings fare peke yake na ipatikani. Kwa hivyo tunataka kushukuru sana serikali kuu kwa kutupea another sub-county ambayo inaitwa Mwea. Itaturahisishia kazi ya kuhudumia wananchi.
People living with disability in Mombasa have warned politicians against using gender-based violence as a tool to scare them and women not to participate in the August general elections. The community has called for peaceful campaigns in the county, saying that they are all Kenyans and need equal rights to participate in the elections. Addressing the media in Mombasa Wednesday evening, Hamisa Zaja, a woman representative aspirant with the United Green Movement, also urged voters, especially the youth, to shun any kind of political intolerance. Zaja, who has previously won an international award for peace and security, said that when violence occurs, it is mostly women, children, and PLWDs who suffer the most.
ningependa kumwomba Waziri Matiang'i kwamba sisi sote tunataka kuparticipate fully katika election, kwa sababu hapa ndio watu wanataka kuamua. Kuzua vurugu, hata askari wenyewe kuzua vurugu ni kuinstill fear. Mtu aogope asiende kupiga kura, mtu aogope asijitokeze kimasomaso, mtu aogope kama mtu anaishi na ulemavu aogope kwenda kupiga kura akidhania kuna vurugu. Hii mambo haya ni lazima yakomeshwe ili sote kama Wakenya tu participate fully. Mwananchi yuko pale, mimi niko pale na partners wangu kutoka ndani ya nchi na nje ya nchi wako pale, tuweze kusolve, kwa sababu budget ya kina mama ya women representative ni finyo sana kulingana na shida na population ya Mombasa County, because it's a city, it's an urban area. Kwa hivyo tuna uhitaji mwingi sana kuliko ile budget tulionayo. Kwa hivyo tunakuja na PPP, public private partnership, to solve our problem.
And the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has cleared Vihiga ANC women representative candidate Beatrice Adagala to vie for the county women rep position. Beatrice thanked her party leader Musalia Mudavadi and the ANC party officials who gave her the mandate to fly the ANC flag in the upcoming polls. She asked the residents of the county to vote for her, adding that her track record speaks for itself.
I, Beatrice Adagala, the woman candidate for ANC party and Kenya Kwanza for Vihiga County Women rep position, would first thank the IEBC officials who have served as well, and my candidature has been approved now. I'm officially in the race to defend my seat as the county women rep. Yes. My track record speaks for itself. Those who have been following my footsteps know what I've done for the people of this county. And I'm seeking their support. We continue with the good work and service to the people of Vihiga County. I come before the voters of Vihiga County with utmost humility, respect, and I request for their support come August 9th, 2022. So I want to assure our people of Vihiga County, I will not let you down as your woman rep. You know, when you elect a woman, should be a woman of valor. Like in the Proverbs, that first woman, I want to assure the Vihiga people, I will work for you. I'll not let you down.
Across our borders, South Africa is experiencing the pinch of petrol price increases due to the global energy crisis following Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its impact on the Brent crude oil price. The impact is also being felt in neighboring Zimbabwe and other African countries, including the East African nation of Uganda. Africa's most developed economy avoided record fuel price increases on Tuesday as the government announced it would extend the reduction of the fuel levy announced for April and May to June and July. Economists are warning of further increases throughout the year, which will hit consumers already dealing with rising food, electricity, and transport costs. And Tunisia's president sacked 57 judges on Wednesday, accusing them of corruption, protecting terrorists, and sexual harassment as he strengthened his grip on the judiciary. In a televised address on Wednesday, Said said he had given opportunities and warnings to the judiciary to purify itself. On Wednesday night, the judge's dismissal was formalized by decree in the official gazette. Said confirmed on himself sweeping powers last year, measures the president claimed were needed to save the country from imminent peril and fight widespread corruption. Last July, critics accused Said of making a grab for one-man rule after he sacked the government and took hold of executive powers. He was accused of staging a coup after ditching the 2014 constitution to rule instead by degree. under pressure from Tunisia's allies who are concerned about democratic backsliding in the country. Said has laid out a roadmap that foresees organizing a July 25th referendum on political reforms to amend the constitution. Let's take another break on News Watch tonight. We will be back with business news.
Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Hope Junction. We play the latest jams.
You're changing my attitude. My heart is yours. For you alone, for you alone.
Plus your requests. If your favorite song tells your story better, let the whole world hear it.
Welcome back. Glad you're still with us. Let's take a look at business news. President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged the international community to accelerate actions to avert the environmental threats facing the world. The president noted that while over the last 50 years, there has been a growing understanding of the grave environmental threats, less progress has been made in designing and implementing bold actions to address the challenge. Held under the theme, A Healthy Planet for the Prosperity of All, Our Responsibility, Our Opportunity, the International Environment Meeting, co-hosted by Kenya and Sweden, also commemorated the 50th anniversary of the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment in Stockholm, which marked a new era of global cooperation.
It is clear, Excellencies, that over the last 50 years, we have deepened our understanding of the grave environmental threat that we all face. We also recognize now that we either stand or fall together because the threat affects all of us across the globe. Unfortunately, despite this recognition, we have made less progress in terms of designing and implementing bold actions to address this threat. So this meeting seeks to therefore accelerate action to avert the environmental crisis and to define a pathway towards an environmentally sustainable future. I want to thank Her Excellency Magdalena Andersson and the government of Sweden for inviting us all here to this city once again to put this agenda firmly back on the table.
Faulu Microfinance Bank has introduced a critical illness insurance cover under its bank assurance business aimed at providing additional coverage for the first-time diagnosis of the listed conditions. The new solution is aimed at mitigating extreme financial burdens that Kenyans incur when medical expenses related to critical illnesses occur and incur more than average medical costs, and traditional health insurance falls short.
This critical illness cover that we're rolling out in the bank is a very unique product that allows us to take care of our loved ones. It focuses on what we call the critical ailments. Critical ailments, we're talking about diseases like these are like heart diseases, you're talking about cancer, you're talking about Alzheimer's disease. You're talking about these very unique ailments that actually are very common in our society. And we have to begin to ask ourselves, in the event that this happens, we don't want our customers and we don't want you to be in a situation where you're not able to afford the medical care, because it can be quite expensive. The premiums will range from about 1,000 shillings a month, which means the annual cover is about 12,000 shillings, very, very affordable. And the covers are decent, because the covers will range from 1 million shillings up to 15 million shillings. So that really takes care of this kind of costs in the event that the unexpected was to happen.
The Kenya Development Corporation, KDC, in partnership with Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KAM, today held an engagement session to support the recovery and growth of small and medium-sized enterprises, that is SMEs, in the manufacturing sector. During the engagement, the third of its kind by KDC in the country, KDC announced that it has launched a plan to engage SMEs countrywide to sensitize them on KDC's products and services with a view to understanding their financial needs. The initiative was previously launched in partnership with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, KNCCI, in Mombasa and Kisumu counties. And in sports, KCB women's volleyball team, who are the 2022 African Club Championship winners, arrived back in the country this morning after their grand outing in Tunisia. The Lionesses, who dominated the competition's awards, stunned record holders Al Ahly 3-1 on Tuesday night in a final to seal the title and win the continental glory for the first time in 16 years. Throughout the tournament, the team won 6 out of the 7 matches, beating some of the biggest clubs in Africa. Speaking during the homecoming party, head coach Japheth Munala said their objective was to go out there and put Kenya on the map in the sport. The team will be back in action later this month for the 6th leg of the Kenya Volleyball Federation League, with their opponents yet to be determined.
The KCB management, under our patron, Madam Judith Sidi, she has been supporting us all along, and we are fighting for her so that we can bring her the trophy. She really deserves to have a trophy. We did not give her the trophy for National League last season, so we felt bad. So this was the chance to prove that we can still give her a bigger trophy than the National League. Winning in Tunisia has given us a lot of courage, because we have beaten all those teams that our rivals here in Kenya. We beat Kenya Prison at the quarterfinals, then we beat Pipeline at the semifinals. So that gives us the edge ahead of them. So we are optimistic that when the playoffs come, we are going to be number 1.
Thanks a lot, and for me it wasn't my work only, it was because of my teammates, the support they gave me, and ile moral nilipata na ile support walinipatia ilinipush to be the best, and I'm really thankful to God, and I'm also proud of myself for that. Ilikuwa so challengeful, and it was very hard, but with the faith and hizo hard work and morale na pia ile support yenye tulikuwa tunapata from the management and also KCB fraternity and our fans, ili tusaidia sana, ikatupatia hiyo motisha ya kutaka ku work hard. And also I personally have been looking forward for so long kutafuta, at least if I'm going out of KCB, at least niache KCB with a title, maybe hata kama itakuwa club championship, which we have already achieved. Really working so hard for myself, because before I didn't have zile vitu zenye zilikuwa zinafaa for a professional player, and I'm very sure by now at least I know what it takes for me to be a professional player, and I'm ready for anything.
Congratulations indeed. Now, former AFC Leopards midfielder Austin Odhiambo scored the winning goal as Gor Mahia beat arch-rivals Ingwe to clinch the ceremonial Madaraka Day Cup 6-5 on post-match penalties at the Nyayo National Stadium. The game was forced to penalties after an error from keeper Levis Opio that led to a 1-1 draw in regulation time, and Odhiambo, who left the Leopards at the start of the season, scored the winner in sudden death. Gore took home 1 million shillings as the cash prize, while AFC Leopards went home with $500,000 shillings. And Lionel Messi stole the show at Copa America holders Argentina, powered to a 3-0 win against European champions Italy in the Finalissima at Wembley on Wednesday night. Inspired by the peerless Messi, Argentina raced into a 2-goal lead in the first half of the prestigious friendly thanks to strikes from Lautaro Martinez and Angel Di Maria. Substitute Paulo Dybala scored the third goal in injury time. It was another memorable moment for Argentina, who have qualified for this year's World Cup, as they extend the golden afterglow from the victory over Brazil that ended their 28-year wait to win the Copa America in 2021. Well, that's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much on behalf of the whole team that has made this bulletin a success. We appreciate you. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Have a good night and take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast.